But as Steve said, my name is Noel, and I'm honored to have been asked to come and speak with you guys again for Wine for Rose and Mocha. It's a privilege to be here sharing my story, sharing a few laughs, a few glasses of wine, and hopefully only a few tears. Many of you I recognize from over the years. Thank you for coming and supporting, and many newcomers too. Thank you for coming. I'm not a gambler, but I feel pretty safe placing a bet that cancer has affected each and every one of us in this room in some way, shape, or form. After all, isn't that what brings us all together here tonight? We know how scary the word cancer is, how devastating its effects can be on our lives and the lives of our loved ones. We came together tonight for the same purpose, to raise money and awareness, to educate others about the signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer. For those of you that have not attended in previous years, let me give you a little history as to why I get to be up here in front of the microphone and how ovarian cancer has affected me. If my story can help even one person, then I consider my mission accomplished. On April 9, 2012, I was diagnosed with stage 3C ovarian cancer. And as Steve said, this year I got to celebrate being 3 years cancer-free. Describe my diagnosis in one word, it would be a toss-up between lucky, blessed, and just plain old wow. I was lucky to have caught it as early as I did, blessed to not have to endure the hardship of treatment through chemotherapy, and my diagnosis story has wowed many medical professionals throughout the years. The type of cancer that I had is very metastatic, which means that it's very likely to come back in some form within the first couple of years. Thank God that did not happen with me, so I am in the clear for a bit. I can now go reduce my visits to the oncologist to once a year until I reach 10 years. After 10 years, it's likely to come back in some form. So I just have to be very vigilant and pay very close attention to my body. If something feels off, I just need to go in and get it checked out. Things that I may have overlooked or ignored in the past, I simply can't do because it's not worth the risk. It feels good to be out of the woods for a little bit, but at the same time, it feels like there's this darkness over what should have been a very bright and healthy future, or what I expected to be a very bright and healthy future. Regardless of that, I'm not going to focus on the negative. I'm going to focus on the positive and be thankful for my health today. I know that there's a reason why this happened to me. God has a plan for me. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be shown soon, I'm sure. Like I mentioned before, I was very lucky to have found my cancer when I did. Early detection is key. I encourage all women to get your yearly checkups. Go to your OBGYN. Going to your family practitioner is better than nothing, but going to an OBGYN, they're more likely to recognize the signs and symptoms sooner, since they primarily specialize in gynecological care. I encourage all men to make sure that the women in your life get their yearly exam. Do not let them procrastinate. Even if you think you're healthy, it's not worth the risk. Why take that chance with your life? My cancer may have been discovered a little bit sooner if I wasn't overdue for my yearly exam. It was only a few months, so I wasn't very worried. I was seemingly healthy and young. Two things that do not stop you from getting cancer, apparently. I can attest to that. My story is quite unusual since my cancer was found through an x-ray of my hip, which is pretty amazing. X-rays don't normally pick up tumors. I am a runner, and I developed a mild pain in my hip while running, and that mild pain eventually turned into an excruciating pain. I didn't want to get it looked at, but my husband was very adamant that I go to the doctor, and his persistence finally paid off, and I realized that the pain wasn't going away even with rest, so I finally caved and went to the doctor. My nurse practitioner ordered an x-ray, which showed a possible stress fracture in my hip, and we know now that that was not the case, but that x-ray led to an MRI, which detected a mass in my right ovary, and that led to an ultrasound. The ultrasound detected the tumor, which ultimately led to surgery. All of this happened within 1 week. I went from thinking that I may never run again due to a stress fracture to a cancer survivor in 1 week. I'm extremely grateful for my husband's stubbornness, the thoroughness of my nurse practitioner who ordered the x-ray, MRI, and ultrasound and even made the appointments for me. I'm also extremely grateful to Dr. Hoogerlin, my oncologist who did my surgery, the ongoing care I've received from Columbia St. Mary's Cancer Center, the Cancer Center staff at Freighter and Mayo Clinic, along with the support from my mother, my husband, the rest of my wonderful family, and all of my friends. Looking back on my situation, I now know that symptoms existed for quite some time, but I always found a logical explanation for them. My husband and I were trying to have a baby during that time, and I just knew I was pregnant. I could not figure out why the test kept coming up negative. I was bloated, nauseous, and tired all the time. As I later learned, these are not only symptoms of pregnancy, but they are symptoms of ovarian cancer. These are the things that every woman needs to know and recognize, women of all ages. I always assumed this was something that older women were at risk for. I never thought that this was something I could have during my childbearing years. I believe that my way of giving back is to help make all women aware of the signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer, and that's where I need your assistance. We all have a way of communicating, whether it's talking, Facebook, Twitter, email, whatever it is. I tend to be quite the talker. And those of you that know Tracy, our host, she's a talker.
No way.
Tracy and I have been friends and coworkers for many years. When her stepmother Rose was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, Tracy made it known and used her gift for gab to bring awareness to this disease. And although ovarian cancer had not affected me at that point, it was always a topic of conversation in our office. She always had teal strands in her hair, teal jewelry, everything, and it quickly became a prominent color in our office. There was a reason that I met Tracy. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. This being the most important of all of them. I needed Tracy. I needed this awareness. It wasn't long after Rose passed away that I was diagnosed with the very same thing that she was promoting awareness for. Luckily, Tracy always made sure, like I said, to wear her teal proudly and openly share how ovarian cancer had affected her with anyone who would listen. If she was so vocal about this with her coworkers at work, imagine what she was like on her free time. On email, on Facebook, planning wonderful events like this that we're all enjoying. Then imagine each and every one of those people seeing her post or talking to her, talking to their family and friends. Before you know it, word has spread to hundreds and thousands of people. These people are now aware of this disease because of what one person started. One person definitely can make a difference. Why not let that person be you? Urge your mothers, sisters, cousins, daughters, friends, whatever the relationship is, urge them to get their checkups. Do not let them procrastinate like I did. As I said before, just because you may seem young and healthy, it does not mean that you are immune to this disease. I was a young, seemingly perfectly healthy person and very active when mine was diagnosed, and I didn't have any of the risk factors associated with ovarian cancer. Don't be fooled. Know the symptoms, know your body, and speak out. Some of the common symptoms of ovarian cancer are unexplained bloating, changes in bladder and bowel habits, loss of appetite or feeling full quickly, pain or discomfort in the lower back, pelvis, or legs, abnormal vaginal bleeding, unusual fatigue, and unexplained weight gain. Women diagnosed at an early stage have a much higher 5-year survival rate than those diagnosed at a later stage. Another reason why I'm very lucky. Recognizing these signs and symptoms is so important. Ovarian cancer used to be known as a silent killer, a symptomless disease, but research shows that is no longer true. Now ovarian cancer whispers. You just have to know what your symptoms are in order to hear it. Let's join together and make ovarian cancer shout in the future. Make sure every woman in your lives knows what these symptoms are so we can increase the percentage of early detection and increase the survival rate. Early detection is key and can save many, many lives. The only way we can ensure early detection is to speak out. I am, and I hope you guys will too. Thank you.